But that was AEW Dynamite. However, we do indeed, now that we have gone into the future, we have ratings.
Oh, boy.
AEW Dynamite, November 1st.
I wish they had the ratings just for Louisville, Kentucky. How many people in Louisville watched that show? Because we know but actually, it would probably be more were there live than watching in this market. Probably, to be honest, on cable, on television. Well, and that ain't saying much.
It's not saying much. AEW Dynamite on TBS, November 1st, 2023. On average, did 832,000 viewers.
So they have apparently chained these people to their Barca loungers. It's the same every week, and they ain't going to let them go.
I presume so.
That's a statement that I made.
I think it's going to stay like that until more people start dropping TVs. That's going to be the big thing, and that's the future, is more people
dropping TVs.
Dropping having cable.
But they're not going to have to throw their TV out the window, are they?
That'd be awesome. I love the open of SCTV, throwing the TVs out the window. I like the idea.
Well, that's because you're a reincarnated rock star from the 60s. Anyway, how did it go from big to small like usual?
It's because I like good Canadian comedy, which is why I hate so much of AEW. But AEW's ratings, November 1st, 2023, quarter one. These were compiled by WrestleNomics. If you're into ratings, check out their Patreon, support them. Quarter one, 8 to 8:15 p.m. The recap video, MJF and Adam Cole on the screen. The Kingdom and Roddy Strong come screaming in. Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli with picture-in-picture. 985,000 viewers.
Wow, so that'll be the high point. We can pretty much tell that already.
Well, quarter two, 8:15 to 8:30 p.m., the continuation of Orange Cassidy versus Claudio Castagnoli, including the post-match with Jon Moxley, MJF and Chris Jericho's confrontation leading to Wardlow choking MJF, and then the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn hanging out. 896,000 viewers.
Oh, okay, so immediately 89,000 people said, what the fuck is going on here? And chose to leave. That was not unexpected, per our discussion earlier about the merits or lack thereof of fucking Pockets the mascot.
Quarter three, an ad break. Oh, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m., excuse me. An ad break. Jon Moxley's backstage promo. Adam Page and the Young Bucks versus the Mogul Embassy with picture-in-picture. 793,000 viewers.
Jesus Christ! What another 103,000? They lost 100 and, I can't do this math, 90-something thousand people in the first 45 minutes? Well, they got to bring some of them back or they're not going to make this average, are they?
Well, again, they had the World Series up against them, so you had to have as much action as was happening in that game if you were going to hold any baseball fans. A quarter four, 8:45 to 9 p.m. The post-match with the Angry Young Bucks, MJF and the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn backstage, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage's live promo and angle, also featuring Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne, Sting, Darby Allin, and the big Tony Khan and Nigel McGuinness announcement. 836,000 viewers.
Okay, so I would have to think that that's the Adam Copeland effect there, because nothing else sounded particularly gripping. So they got back 36 and 7, 43,000 people.
And because of where it goes the next quarter, let me just say this too. They have, whatever Tony thinks, he has finally burned out his audience on caring about his big announcements.
Well, now, but it was brought up on Twitter today. I saw people discussing it, that maybe we had the wrong expectations because he's got a variety of announcements. There's big announcements, there's major announcements, there's important announcements, there's game-changing announcements. So maybe we just weren't on the terminology. We were expecting too much.
I like how it's now, how do we get Tony so that he gets his fix of being on camera, but it puts him in a better role. It's put him with a buddy. Either Adam Cole, Nigel. Do we have a buddy that speaks English well? Put him with Adam Cole. Put him with Nigel McGuinness. We'll see who's next. Quarter 5, the big 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 9:15 p.m. Angelo Parker and Matt Menard versus Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega with picture-in-picture. And the big post-match with The Big Show, or he's not allowed to be called that, Paul White and the Callis family, 779,000 viewers.
Ew. Okay, we're going back in the opposite direction. Another 57,000 people. And we are at show low already at the top of the 9 o'clock hour so far.
Quarter 6, 9:15 to 9:30 p.m. An ad break in the Kenny Omega Young Bucks locker room with drama with Chris Jericho. Hikaru Shida versus Willow Nightingale through picture-in-picture ads. 762,000 viewers.
There goes another 17,000. Whoops, there goes another rubber tree plant.
All right. Well, quarter 7.
Well, you never sang when you were a kid in school?
I never sang that. What song is that?
Oh, what was the first part of it? He's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. He's got high apple pie in the sky hopes.
That's what you were singing in school when you were a kid?
Well, we didn't have many songs back then. They hadn't written a lot yet.
All right. Back to this, quarter 7.
Quarter
7, a new low here on this show, as well as a new low rating in quarter 6 there. Quarter 7, the continuation of Hikaru Shida versus Willow Nightingale, including the post-match with Tony Storm, and the magic of Julia Hart and Sky Blue.
The magic of
MJF and the Acclaimed backstage.
The illusions of Julia Hart and
further illusions in the next segment with MJF, the Acclaimed, the Guns, Jeff Jarrett, Sanja, everyone backstage willing to be MJF's partner, an ad break, and then the entrances for the main event. 821,000 viewers.
So poor MJF still, even in these contrived and maligned circumstances, can pull it into 59,000 people and get them for the first time in the second hour above 800,000 viewers.
And we have a 2-minute overrun, but finally, quarter 8, 9:45 to 10 p.m. Billy Gunn, MJF, and the Acclaim versus Bullet Club Gold with picture-in-picture ads. 792,000 viewers. And the 2-minute overrun, 790,000 viewers.
Oh, Jesus. So poor MJF wasn't enough to keep. 29,000 of those that he brought back, and they dipped below. They came up just short of dropping 200,000 from the first quarter to the last quarter. They did it in the middle, but they at least weren't down. They were only down at the end 193,000. And the overrun lost him. Yes, apparently the program that was scheduled afterward kind of sucked too.
Let me ask you this, because obviously I brought up before how they killed the Tony Khan special announcement. It means nothing now. MJF has been someone proven to move the ratings. Since day one almost. He's the world champion. You want your world champion to have a big presence on the show. There's multiple people chasing after him, that's the thing, but having multiple people chase after him is one thing. Having him threaded throughout the program is another. When you have someone that hot, what do you do? When I say someone that hot, he's the hottest thing they have in AEW.
Right.
But
Well,
when you have someone like that, what do you do so you don't burn out the audience because you're not getting what used to be one really big, awesome MJF segment that you knew to tune in for? Now he's threaded throughout the program, and then finally the main event doesn't even pop a number.
Steve Austin was threaded throughout the program also.
Right.
You can be threaded throughout the program. It's what you're doing while you're dangling from that thread throughout the program. And we've said it, but MJF has now become a fucking nerd, a friendless nerd. He didn't need friends before. He had stooges. He didn't need friends. But now he's portrayed as someone who has to go and fucking tuck his tail between his legs to some of these people. But yet he still doesn't want to deal with some of them because he has some pride. But now he's with these fucking nitwits. And it's great for the world champion to be the focus of multiple people in the promotion. But do you remember Ric Flair being the focus of Lasertron? You know, they have to be main event people that in the promotion that are focusing on MJF. And like we've said before, he got over as that cunning heel that actually did outsmart a lot of fucking baby faces, which is hard on the baby faces, but it worked for MJF. So keep doing as much of that as possible while making him vulnerable to the really good heels that can get heat on him. And they're doing none of this. And now he's wandering around with a fucking notepad, trying with a list of people that may potentially be his friends. What the fuck is going on here? And he's too happy. And he's too buddy-buddy with Adam Cole, which this whole thing's been preposterous and phony anyway. And he's taking it seriously, not in terms of his... He's not taking it seriously in terms of his work. He's taking the preposterous scenario that he's been put in, and MJF, the personality inside the wrestling universe there, is taking this seriously. And that makes him look like a fucking idiot. Because nobody else that's watching it is. Because they shouldn't. With the Roddy in the wheelchair and the neck brace and the gown and the fucking giraffe and the goddamn Adam Cole was at the guy's house for 2 weeks with no cell service instead of getting surgery. And what the fuck is... So they are minimizing, and now they're overdoing it, because he's in the show multiple times doing stupid shit, just because he's there, just because they'll watch him still, but not in as big a numbers as maybe last year, and that's diminishing. So, the fuck? The MJF in a match didn't used to be one of the 3 lowest quarter hours in the fucking show, regardless of where it was placed. But in this match, he was, and he should have been. Because it's fucking stupid.
You would have probably run into this more from working with Vince on Raw than anything with Smoky Mountain or anything, probably even with OVW. Well, I guess maybe football, but when you know in advance that you're up against, more than likely, unless it's a sweep in 4 games, you're up against a World Series game, an NBA championship game, a big football game, whatever it may be, do you change the way you're going to book the show knowing that you're up against that, whether you can keep your audience or not?
Well, the thing is, they didn't keep any more, they didn't lose any more of the audience against the World Series than they lose against goddamn Wednesday night every week. Did they? So this is 20 or 25%.
I think the biggest thing that's ever hit that show was, remember Vanderpump Rules? Remember that was the big thing that was like...
Yeah, and we never did find out who that fucking Vanderpump guy was or what he was the ruler of. But the point is that this is pretty much the people every week that sometimes try and sometimes succeed and sometimes fail to find something about AEW they want to watch. You can't tell me there's completely different people every fucking week. This is almost the same number and the same pattern. So I don't think the World Series, I don't think that the average person who really enjoys watching AEW wrestling is a fucking sports fan. How could you be? Like, you know, watching people barbecuing Dalmatians if you're an animal lover. So this, to me, this was not due to the World Series, because it's the same goddamn thing every week. They start with the biggest number. They drop fairly quickly at the start and then kind of maintain and then drop at the end and end up with losing 20 to 30% of their audience. They did the same thing against the World Series that they do against goddamn Family Guy reruns. It's always the same thing because the show sucks And even all the people that start out want to see it can't fucking sit through it. Pick that apart.
It's going to be an interesting next couple of years. I'll say that. Especially with the people Tony surrounded himself with.
Oh, jeez, don't say it like that. We got to keep track of this shit for the next couple of years.
We've been there since the beginning. I think we have to go at least until Tony's nervous breakdown.
All right, when Tony gets institutionalized, we can take a break from this.
That's right. And then we will return when he returns from his hiatus. But, Jim, perhaps if Tony was institutionalized, he would want to listen to some good tunes on some fine earbuds.
Well, you almost have to when you're sitting there and you're wearing one of those long sleeve overcoats and you're rocking back and forth in a fetal position. You need something stuck in your head to play some voices that are counteracting the voices you were already hearing before you stuck shit in your ears.
They're coming to take me away, haha. They're coming
to the funny farm. And folks, you don't have to waller around in the manure piles that you'll find with some of these name brand earbuds, because the Raycons are half the price of the normal expensive types, and they sound just as good, if not better. And you know what, Raycon, we've been talking about their anniversary, right? And then the milestones that they've been celebrating,
birthday.
Brian. Birthday, anniversary, whatever the case.
Birthday.
They expanded their entire business with the introduction of Raycon Home. Do you know that they now have a 5-star reviewed Magic 180 cable that allows you to charge iOS and micro USBs and Type-C devices 8 times faster?
For a second there, because I don't have the copy in front of me, I will momentarily. I couldn't tell if you were doing all improv, but then I realized you are, in fact, reading.
No, you can charge your iOS.
Your iOS, that's Apple products.
Well, there's no A in that, or P or L or E.
iOS is their operating system.
iOS.
No,
iOS
just
operating
iOS.
System.
You don't read it like a word. You don't read FBI as FB.
Well, sometimes you do if you want to be formal. Well, who is the I in the OS?
I don't know, but it's theirs.
See, you Mr. Know-It-All. Well, you can charge all these things 8 times faster. It's got 100-watt power delivery, and they've got now a faucet filter that ultra filters the water in your tap against chlorine and heavy metals. And you don't want to be drinking heavy metals when you're enjoying a sociable cocktail in your ice there. You get lead poisoning. And no wonder you feel so full after you drink a glass of water these days. It's twice as heavy as it used to be. But anyway, they've got all these things. They're known for the high-quality earbuds, but they've got many different products now for your home and your lifestyle. And, of course, the stars of the program, the Raycon Everyday Wireless Earbuds, the high-quality and thoughtful features, the 32-hour battery life, the perfect in-ear fit, for all day. Wear them all day, wear them all night, and wear them a little longer, because they've got a lasting comfort to them, thanks to that gel tip. And if you ever get hungry, they come available.
You can go buy some food, because you should not be eating anything that Raycon will be sending you for your ears. They are not edible products.
Well, in a pinch. So once again, folks, and they've got all kinds of deals. You can save up to 50% off right now, because their early Black Friday sale is going on right now. Everybody's in the holiday shopping spirit, so they got 20% off everything on the site. And select products, meaning ones that you can select, are up to half off. Holy mackerel. Yeah, they're almost giving it away for free. And you don't have to go out shopping. And the carnage that comes when they open the doors and people stampede and trample children and sacrifice people to the Satanistic gods in order to get a fucking deal on a goddamn home entertainment system.
What?
That's what they do out there in the wild when you're shopping in person.
Where's the wild? Best Buy?
Best Buy, all those places. People are injured constantly every year. You hear about it. Don't do that, folks. Just get on your computer in the privacy of your own home. Go to buyraycon.com, BUYRAYCON, buyraycon.com/JCE 20% off everything, up to 50% off certain things, and all money that you're going to save and not pull out of your pocket. Courtesy of us and our friends at Raycon, and the IOs and the micro USBs and the Type-C devices, and the Ultra Faucet filter.
Once again, fine earbuds, great earbuds. You will enjoy them. Raycon, what's the promo code one more time?
Look through the whole goddamn thing now. They got all this other stuff. You never know what they're going to have that you need.
That's
you don't
right.
know what you need until you don't have it.
What you need is that promo code. What is it, Jim?
BuyRaycon.com/JCE.